All right, today we're jumping into the big ideas from the book Human Plus Machine. And let me tell you, it's a game changer. It argues that our whole conversation about AI is wrong. It's not about being replaced, it's about completely reimagining how we work. You know the story, right? We've seen it in a million movies. It's always this epic showdown, humans versus machines. It's this big, scary battle for control where AI is the enemy and our jobs, maybe even our whole way of life, are on the line. But what if that's just the wrong way to look at it? I mean, completely wrong. What if instead of a fight, the age of AI is actually about collaboration, a partnership that could unlock a level of creativity and productivity that we can barely even imagine right now? So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the three huge waves of business transformation that got us here. Then we'll dive into the core idea of the book, something called the missing middle. After that, we'll see some incredible real-world examples of this in action, and we'll wrap it all up with a playbook you can actually use. Okay, first things first. To really get what's so different about AI today, we've got to look back. See how this all fits into the last 100 years of changes in how we get stuff done. So, the first wave? That kicked off with Henry Ford and the assembly line. It was all about standardizing work, breaking it down into small, simple, repeatable steps. Then, in the 90s, we hit the second wave, automation. That's when we used computers to do those repetitive tasks for us. But today, we are deep in the third wave, adaptive processes. These aren't rigid and fixed. They're fluid, they're smart, and they learn and change on the fly. And to help us wrap our heads around this huge shift, the book uses a brilliant analogy, an app I'm willing to bet a lot of you use almost every single day. And this is where it gets really interesting. Think about those early GPS devices. All they did was automate an old process. They basically just put a paper map on a screen. But Waze completely reimagined driving. It uses real-time data from all of us on the road to create a living, breathing map that reroutes you if there's a traffic jam ahead. That leap from just automating something to totally reimagining it, that's the heart of this third wave. All right, so that brings us to the core idea of the book, this new model for work. And this is where the real opportunity is, in a space that, honestly, most companies aren't even looking at. It's called the missing middle. See, we tend to think in extremes. Either machines are going to take all the jobs, or humans will keep working just like they always have. But the missing middle is that dynamic, collaborative space right in between, where humans and AI work together as partners, each one making the other better. This slide just nails the mental shift we all need to make. For so long, the goal was automation, using machines to replace human tasks. But the new goal is augmentation, using machines to amplify human skills. It's the huge difference between a machine just doing the work for you and a human and a machine achieving something incredible together that neither one could have ever done alone. Now, this all sounds great in theory, right? But is anyone actually doing this? Oh yeah, companies are already working in this missing middle, and the results are pretty mind-blowing. Let's take a look. First up, something we can all relate to, hiring people. It can be super slow, incredibly repetitive. Unilever knew there had to be a better way, so they decided to partner up with AI to completely change their approach. So get this, by having an AI do the first pass on applications, Unilever's human recruiters cut the time they spent on that tedious review process by 75%. But here's the key, the AI didn't replace them. It freed them up to spend their valuable time with the best candidates, which means they could focus on judgment, intuition, and making way better hiring decisions. Okay, let's go from the corporate office to something a little bigger. General Electric is using AI not just to watch over its massive wind farms, but to make them way more efficient, second by second. So what GE does is create a digital twin for every single turbine. It's a virtual copy that's fed real-time data from the physical one. The AI crunches all that data and can actually tell the lead turbine to slow down just a bit so that the turbines behind it can catch more wind. It's a machine insight executed by human engineers, and it can boost a farm's energy output by up to 20%. That is huge. All right, for our last example, prepare to be amazed. This one comes from the world of scientific R&D, and it is a true game changer. Okay, so a team of very smart human researchers spent 2 years, sifting through Medicare data to find a dangerous interaction between two drugs. Then, GNS Healthcare gave that exact same raw data to an AI. With basically no instructions, the AI just churned through 45 quadrillion possibilities and found the exact same drug interaction. Oh, and it found another one nobody even knew about, and it did it all in 3 months. That's not just faster, that's a machine literally discovering new medical knowledge from scratch. So you see these incredible results, and you're probably thinking, okay, I'm sold. How do we actually do this? Well, the good news is the book gives us a really clear framework for any company that wants to get started. They've boiled it all down to 5 essential principles, and they call it the MLDS framework. It all starts with mindset. You have to stop thinking replacement and start thinking collaboration. Then comes experimentation, because you've got to test things and learn what works for you. Leadership has to be all in, committing to responsible AI. Data is the fuel for all of this, so you need a steady supply. And finally, skills. You have to actively train people for this new way of working together. The book wraps up with this powerful quote from the father of computing, Alan Turing. And it's the perfect reminder that the real limits here aren't about the technology, they're about our imagination. It's all about our ability to dream up new ways to work together. So, I want to leave you with this one question. It's so easy to ask, what part of my job could a machine replace? Let's flip that around. Ask yourself this instead. What part of your job, the part that needs your creativity, your empathy, your uniquely human skills, what part of that job could a machine amplify? Because the answer to that question, well, that's where the future of work really begins.